Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. Today is the 31st of October. It's Halloween and things are looking pretty bloody on the streets of crypto. The crypto world fits quite well. A very red Friday, a very wet Halloween for this year. We're going to jump into the markets, going to jump into charts and then articles to look at what's happening in the crypto world. Why is everything bleeding so profusely? It's hemorrhaging hardcore. So please make sure to smash up the likes on this video, subscribe to the channel, stick around till the very end so you don't miss any of the details. Pick up a Descent wallet, pick up a copy of Crypto and Millennials. All ref links are below the video. Get your discounts in, get your crypto secured because you don't know where it's going. It could be going out on the streets with the rest of the bloody mess that's going on. The market is presently sitting at $3.69 trillion. That's another $2 billion drop from yesterday's highs that we've had. $188 billion in trading volume. Bitcoin dominance at 58%, ETH at 12%. Robbers, 466% pump on this shitcoin. 150 on Aurora. No idea what these coins are. Robbers listed on Uniswap and Dodo only. These are shit coins that have pumped, actually have dumped, and then have seen a pump now after having basically wiped out a bunch of money from investors initially. Aurora is probably another token that's listed. No, it's listed on several exchanges actually, so that's not too bad. But again, this pump is completely irrelevant because it went from $34 to 12 cents right now, so actually 5 cents. So who cares about this pump? It's not a significant pump. It's a bare attempt at recovery. But Bitcoin is sitting at $107,000. It dipped all the way down, I think, to 106,000. Ethereum at 3,700. Solana 181. Cardano at 59 cents. My goodness gracious. Litecoin at $91. Toncoin at $213. Polkadot back below $3 at $282. And Meowcoin has gone through a mini pump all the way up to quadruple 04, back down to quadruple 03. On the charts, Bitcoin is heading straight for this red zone here. It's attacking the support levels here at $105,000, and hopefully this sticks. If this doesn't stick, then the next stop on the Fibonacci retracement is $103,000. If it broke below that, then we could see a Bitcoin price of 100 or quite possibly below 100,000. There are whispers of $88,000, which I don't think is going to solidify. Not right now. I think 88 or somewhere in that vicinity is what we could see during the bear market. So no fear of that happening. This is around 88, 90, 88,000. Ethereum is still in the descending channel on the daily. So it's tapping the bottom line of this channel that I drew just yesterday, I think, or a couple of days ago. So this is where we are on Ethereum. So things as predicted. It's happening as predicted. So we hopefully will see if Ethereum does manage to bounce off this support, then we should see it remain above $3,700, $5,000. It did go down all the way down here and did tap this bottom line, but it is below the resistance of 3,900. So Ethereum needs to break back up above that in order to make its way back up to the top of the channel and hopefully below that. Once we see a breakthrough above this level here at 4,200, then we'll be seeing some clear skies on Ethereum. But for now, things are not looking too great. Why is crypto dumping today? Bitcoin sell-off explained. There are a few things that are explained on Block News. One of them is the announcement by the Fed that signals fewer rate cuts ahead, sparking a risk of wave, which I talked about yesterday. So this is kind of a delayed response, I guess, if that were the case. Trump and Z talks disappointing, reigniting trade war fears, and $800 million in leverage liquidations wipe out $120 billion in crypto market value. This is what's been happening over the past few days. Markets had been banking on confidence boost from the much hyped meeting between President Donald Trump and the Chinese dude. Instead, talks ended with vague promises and few concrete outcomes. While China agreed to cut some tariffs and resume limited agricultural imports, investors were hoping for a broader trade truce. The lack of immediate breakthrough sent a wave of disappointment through global markets And crypto once again bore the brunt of risk-off sentiment. Analysts say the renewed trade war anxiety reminded traders just how fragile global demands remains, particularly for tech and blockchain sectors exposed to cross-border flows. So it's mostly this, I think, basically. All the Fed rate cuts, I don't think that affected the market very much, because we had rate cuts and that simply didn't do anything. And now the failure to promise further rate cuts in December, I don't think that has much of an impact. But this definitely, the tariffs are the news that are murdering the markets right now. And despite all of this, Michael Saylor's 3rd October Bitcoin buy brings MicroStrategy's Bitcoin stash to $73.6 billion in value. MicroStrategy presently holds 640,000 Bitcoin. 640,808 Bitcoin. So despite the fact that he has dropped a wad of cash towards Bitcoin a 3rd time in a row this month, it's still dipping. But just keep in mind, when there are buys, there must be sells. Somebody must be selling in order for others to be buying. So Saylor and anybody else buying crypto means that somebody is selling. Then we might see a delayed response to that, to the 3rd purchase, and he's not the only one, I'm sure. Ethereum price falls below 3,720 as well. Activity and exchange outflows raise questions. The drop comes amid heightened volatility across crypto markets, where investor sentiment remains divided despite strong on-chain fundamentals pointing to long-term strength. And the reason why we are seeing a retracement right now is because of the bad news, or not news that weren't sufficient enough to keep the momentum going. Analyst Ali Martinez highlighted an unusual spike in whale activity, reporting that over 230,000 ETH were moved by large holders in the past week. The transfers, likely involving exchange-linked wallets, have sparked debate over whether whales are preparing to sell or reposition their holdings. Bitcoin struggles to hold key support. Could $88,000 be next? So this is the 88 I was talking about. That's the whisper I mentioned, but I don't think that's going to solidify. Not just yet. Maybe in the bear market, but not at this moment. On-chain analytics from Glassnode has discussed about some key realized price levels for Bitcoin. The realized price here refers to an indicator that measures the cost basis of an average investor or address on the Bitcoin network. So Bitcoin price is the black line, Bitcoin realized price, and USD is the blue line right here. Active realized price is the green one, and then the red one is the all-time short-term holders cost basis. The realized price of the entire network is generally not useful, as often the cryptocurrency's price trades significantly over it. The reason behind this lies in the fact that a notable part of the asset supply has been dormant for years, possessing a cost basis far below today's price. In fact, a chunk of this dormant supply will never return to circulation, as the wallets holding such tokens have had their keys become permanently inaccessible. To account for this, Glassnode came up with the active realized price, a metric that only tracks the cost basis of the supply that can be considered economically active. Below is the chart shared by the analytics firm that shows how the realized price and the active realized price of Bitcoin have changed since the last bull market. Another article is looking at 88,000 through Glassnode. Long-term holders have distributed around 104,000 Bitcoin this month, the heaviest selling since July, while short-term holders are exiting at a loss, said Glassnode, which makes no sense. Volatility has eased since October's liquidation, but market confidence remains weak, leaving Bitcoin vulnerable to renewed downside pressure. But when you look at the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin's trading within a range, basically. If you look at the weekly chart, Bitcoin's trading within this range right now. Over here, we've got the top and the bottom right here. Whatever the case may be, we're not going to see Bitcoin going down all the way down to 80s, I don't think. Even if it went down all the way here, we'd still be looking at 90,000. So even if it does dip below 100,000, I think we would be looking at levels of about 90,000. 80,000 forecasts or 88,000 forecasts are a little bit far-fetched. I think right now that would be a bear case scenario. Bitcoin scrapes new lows as tech stocks drop. Data forecast Bitcoin dip below 100. Bitcoin chart suggests downside to 103,000 and a final flush below 100,000 as the most likely outcome in the short term. Investors are concerned that the CAPEX expansion by big tech companies for their AI infrastructure reflects a speculative-driven market. The move mirrors a slight weakness in U.S. stock markets, where the S&P 500 and Nasdaq showed slight losses despite third-quarter earnings from big tech companies surpassing expectations. Magnificent Seven giants Meta and Microsoft saw respective 10% and 3% drops in their share prices as investor skepticism and big companies spending on AI investment overshadowed positive earnings reports. 3 billion Bitcoin shorts to be liquidated if Bitcoin rallies just 5% to $112,000. And you bet your bottom dollar that this is going to happen as well, because that's more money to be made. So expect a massive pump sometime soon, aiming for these shorts that are going to be liquidated and bring more cash to the market makers. Garden Finance denies $5.5 million hack as ZAC XBT shares on-chain evidence. Apparently, there is another hack that took place. It's almost $6 million. Actually, hackers drained about $6 million from DeFi platform in major cross-chain heist. That's what apparently happened. But Garden Finance says user funds are safe after reports of a $5.5 million exploit. But on-chain data and ZAC XBT's findings suggest the breach may go beyond a single compromised solver. ZAC XBT shared on-chain message suggesting Garden's own deployer wallet acknowledged a broader exploit across multiple chains. While the project insists its protocol wasn't hacked, blockchain investigator ZAC has presented on-chain evidence that tells a different story. Here is a post from Punkaj. Garden has not been hacked. One of the solvers was compromised. The impact is limited to the solvers on inventory protocol users, and their funds remain safe. App has been taken offline temporarily while we complete our investigation. But ZAC XBT posted here, except a Garden deployer address messaged the hacker on-chain and directly stated it is yours. You're likely just trying to downplay the incident to make it look like a team member does not operate the main solver. So we could be seeing the fall of another decentralized finance. Previously, controversy surfaced. The dispute follows another accusation against the platform. ZAC XBT accused Garden Finance of laundering funds from $1.4 billion Bybit hack allegedly linked to North Korea's Lazarus Group. He claimed over 75% of Garden's April to July bridge volume was tied to illicit activity. Garden previously denied those allegations, calling them misleading. It's not looking good for Garden Finance either right now. And early Bitcoin whale sends $290 million in Bitcoin to Kraken as crypto market teeters on edge, according to Look on Chain. One of the earliest Bitcoin investors is relentlessly dumping his coins, according to new on-chain data. Citing Arkham data, the blockchain tracking from Look on Chain reports that Satoshi era whale Owen Gunden has sent over 2,587.6 Bitcoin worth about 290 million to crypto exchange Kraken in less than 10 days. People are taking precautions because the market is not looking too good right now. It is a bit teetering. This cascading momentum is not looking good. We had the $125,000 high, and then the past 3 weeks on the weekly and the past 3 weeks have not been looking good. So actually overall October is ending on a red exit. So historically October is said to have been green, but this year not so much. Arkham data shows that Gunden holds about 785 million in Bitcoin and he's selling a nice chunk of it. Why the heck not? Satoshi Nakamoto's fortune falls under Halloween curse. The Bitcoin creator's holdings experienced a spooky drop in valuation ahead of Halloween on the markets. And Western Union expands stablecoin ambitions with new WUUSD trademark. Western Union has filed a US trademark application for WUUSD just 1 day after announcing plans to launch a US dollar-backed stablecoin called USDPT on the Solana blockchain. So this is happening. This is coming your way. That's for Western Union. And that's it for this Bloodbath. Hope you have a fantastic Halloween. Enjoy that. Hopefully this will recover. We're going to see a recovery after Halloween and at the beginning of November. November 1st is tomorrow. So over the weekend, let's hope that things will recover. Once again, do remember to smash the like, subscribe to the channel, pick up a copy of the Descent wallet. There's a special bonus coming up. There's going to be an event for the Descent wallet and coming up towards Black Friday. So I hope to get some special fantastic deals from the Descent team and share with you fine people here on the Crypto Father channel. In the meantime, thank you for your support and have a fantastic Halloween. Peace.